Morning, morning, morning. It's Monday, the 24th of June 2019. Welcome along to Bracknell and this morning's United Kingdom talk. All right? What an overcast day all day yesterday. What happened to the weather? Dreadful. The whole day it just seemed like it was going to rain. I did take a risk and I took the bike out to and from church. And I'm very pleased to say not a drop of water fell from the sky, which is unusual. It will only usually rain, if you go on the bike. If it looks like it's going to rain... Oh, my floor thing's a bit... Hang on a minute. Let me just move around a bit here. My bit of wood on the floor, I think, has moved. I've got a carpet on the floor in here. And a bit of wood just literally sits on the top to stop the wheels going through the carpet. Yes, usually if you take the bike out, it'll rain. If you take the car out when it looks like it's going to rain, it won't rain. But I took the bike out yesterday, there and back, and it didn't rain. So I'm quite happy about that. Although I bumped into a load of dogs on the way. Oh, you know what the most annoying thing with dogs is not the barking so much. It's those blooming long extension leads that they've all got now. You know? So you attach one end to the dog and the owner's got the other end and it extends right out. The trouble is they don't see anyone behind them. You know, so whether it be a pedestrian or a person on a bike or someone with a pram or something like that, and you get to it and this thing is still outstretched like that, just a complete and utter pain. Those extended things which go right across paths and fields and all sorts of things like that. Most annoying. Anyway, that was the weather yesterday. It looks... I had a vegan sausage roll from Greg's yesterday. After church, I cycled into town. I had to go to the bank. To the machine. So I went to that in Wokingham, and then I got a nice vegan sausage roll afterwards. And as I was walking back, because I kind of walked to and then I have to go back past the church again, there were members of congregation coming back the other way. And they said, "Are you having breakfast already?" I said, "Well, this is the terrible thing about it. This is the bit in between breakfast. You know, in between breakfast and lunch. Very naughty. So I'll have breakfast before I leave. Then I'll come up and do a show if I'm not playing organ. And then I go to church. And then sometimes I'll get a vegan sausage roll on the way back and then have lunch when I get in. How greedy is that? Answer, very greedy. There's this lad who works in the Greg's, actually, but he don't want to talk to anyone. He's as miserable as sin. I'm not sure he's English. I think he might be Polish or something like that. But he doesn't want to enter into conversation with anyone. You know, "Are you the only one here today? Are you the only one working here today? £1, please." Oh, right, okay, there you go. Not interested in talking to anyone at all. So that was yesterday. And I'm wondering if it's going to be the same today, because we're overcast again. Not a single sunbeam is coming in through this window this morning. And if there's no sun, how are my brand new, beautiful sunflowers supposed to grow? Do you like them? Yes, gang, the summer backdrop has been installed. Isn't it nice? Do you like it? My summer backdrop. The sunflowers have appeared. I know you do. Of course, there will be certain people among you at the moment who are sad, lonely people who are at this moment, not necessarily you, but there will be someone now who's scanning the backdrop looking for faults. Whether there might be a little bit of a crease somewhere where I've messed up with the iron, or perhaps the edge of it isn't quite attached, or something like that. There are people looking at that rather than seeing the sunflowers on the backdrop, nice and bright and cheery. They are looking for faults and errors. How sad and lonely are you? Let's see if anyone mentions that today. Let's have a look, boys and girls. Good morning to... Yes, so there we are. The new sunflowers are up. It's quite an easy thing to do. That only took about 10 minutes to get up. You have to obviously take everything down. To be honest, the clock here is looking a bit dodgy. I'm going to have to... Oh, there it goes now. It's kind of hanging off a bit. The screw has come out of the wall, but I can't get to the screw because it's behind all the material, you see. There's about 4 backdrops up there. I just put one over the other when they go up. So I'm going to have to try and put another screw in there or do something, because I've got a feeling that clock's going to drop off at any moment now. But yeah, you take all the stuff down, and then it's a case of putting one side up with the gun, my favourite tool, the gun stapler. Remember getting one of those at school? Do you remember getting hold of that thing at school and firing at people? Great fun. Marvellous fun. And then putting it up, and then I get an iron and I literally iron it on the wall because it's all creased up and it's come out all right. Anyway, nice and cheery, and that's what we got for the summer. Right, let's say hello to some of you this morning. Mike Rees-Ponto, good morning in Portsmouth. Get the first message in today. Good morning, Mike. Hello to lovely Claire over there on YouTube. Good morning, Claire. Adrian Richardson in the house. Diane Jeb, good morning. Michael Lawrence, very good morning to Michael Lawrence. Mr. JP, John Parrish, morning. Diane loves the new backdrop. Thank you, Diane. Something nice and bright and cheery for summer. That'll be up at least until September, October time, okay? JP, how far is your caravan from Gatwick or Heathrow? Oh my God, it's miles away from there. About, from Gatwick, must be about 160 miles. From Heathrow, about 140 miles. Yeah, I'm nowhere near any airports where the caravan is. Nowhere near them at all, I'm afraid. Mike loves the lovely and bright sunflowers you have behind you. Very summery. Thank you, Mike. Yes, I've had that since winter. I bought that in November. Do you remember me telling you, those of you that have been with us for a long time, that I had a new summer backdrop that I was dying to tell you? But if I tell you what it is before I put it up, it kind of, it takes away the kind of surprise element, doesn't it, you know? I am full of surprises, full of them. I mean, for example, who would have thought that I didn't have my collar set correctly and there's a second button undone today? That's doing something for you, isn't it, John? A little bit more flesh for you today. Look at that. Is that doing something for you? Don't tell your wife. Whatever you do, don't tell your wife. They get very, very jealous of me, wives. They do. There they are, out in town, great big things, pushing around buggies everywhere, and gorgeous lads in tow. Get over here, Mark! Follow me quickly! And you can see the guys kind of looking me up and down like that. You know, you've either got it or you haven't you, John? Hello to Vika Sweet. Good morning to you. Claire likes the bird jacket. Yeah, birds, you see. Flowers. We're very, very nature conscious here. Save the planet. I think it's a bit late now to save the planet, but we'll have a lot of fun trying, as Larry Hagman once said. Thank you. Hello to Clarissa. Good morning, Clarissa. All right, darling. Yes, Claire rightly pointing out. Yeah, Mike, the caravan's in Lincolnshire. It really is about 140 miles, probably 160, 170 from Gatwick. A long, long way. Still looking for a quiet, static home. Well, avoid Haven. Avoid Haven, John. There's nothing wrong with the Haven caravans, but they are very, very high ground rents. Not that that worries you, but very high ground rents at Haven Holidays. Plus, you'll have a lot of holiday makers, people with families. You know, everyone's got families. They have to have a good time. But like me, you see, you want a quiet place, don't you? You don't want children and noise and clubs and bars. You just want a small family-run site. I don't know what else to advise you, really. I mean, I'm on one such a site. I came across mine by luck, really. It was a complete accident. I mean, it really was. I kind of really did hit the jackpot. I got a very cheap caravan, £8,000. That's all I paid. My ground rent is £1,400 a year. That's a year. And it's very quiet and it's right out the way. It was just luck. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. You know the story about when I bought the caravan, don't you? Which is, it's got to be coming up to a year now. I'll have to check my bank statement and see when I transferred the money for that. But it really was luck. I saw this advert come up on the. I'd looked at a couple of places already, which I didn't like. You know, you can't buy something you don't. You got to want to be there. You know, and my sister was kind of. She wanted me up there, and I felt I was being pushed into something I didn't want. There was a particular caravan there. Oh, it's really nice, and I went to see it, and I thought, oh, it sounds perfect. I went to see it. I hated it. It was so dismal. They decorated it with like dark red. Have I got anything that colour here? I don't think I have, actually. It was like a very dark red, and I thought it was really depressing in there. It was nice. I had central heating and all that. It was in the middle of a load of caravans, and she went on and on about it. And anyway, I didn't buy it. And then I looked at another one on another site, which was okay. Again, that had central heating. But when I looked around at his one, in virtually every socket, he had one of those mouse things what was supposed to stop mice coming in. They emit some sort of noise so that the mice don't like it and they don't come in. And I thought, oh, well, you've obviously got a problem with mice in here. Also, around the windows, it looked like someone had been trying to get in, like with a crowbar or something, probably unsuccessfully. But it looked like they had a bit of trouble on that site. So I thought, no, this isn't the one for me. And then I heard about the site that I'm on, which was actually the same site that I had rejected the first caravan on. So I looked at another one there, and this one was okay. It was the cooker was a bit old and it was a bit small, but I thought, well, this one will do me, right? And I entered into conversation with the woman who actually isn't far from me. She was in Wokingham. But the conversation just wasn't coming back the same way, and I got a bit edgy. You know when you're transferring a bit of money? This other one was about £5,000. £5,000. It was very old, but I thought, well, that'd do me. You know, what do I want? Just a small place so I can go and visit my sister and her family and all that. And so I made an offer, and she accepted that. But the calls weren't coming back, and I kept getting these excuses, and I thought, I can't be bothered with you. So I stopped calling her. About 2 days later, then my phone starts ringing. I thought, no, you had your chance, mate. You know, when someone offers you money for something that you're trying to sell, you want to keep hold of that buyer because they go. I went. So that was that one. And this was the fourth one. And I just happened to be looking around on the internet one Friday night while I was at work. On Gumtree, I think it was Gumtree, and this one come up, and I thought, oh, I like the look of that. So I'm looking at it. I thought, oh, I like the look of that one. Now I happen to know on the site that I'm on in Lincolnshire, they go very quickly. So caravans go like that. It's a very popular site, right? So I messaged my nephew, the older nephew, Gary. I said, could you go around and have a look at this for us? I said, I'll contact the lady. Anyway, contacted the lady. She came back to us fairly quickly, you know, the next morning, which was Saturday morning, about 9 o'clock. I think I was just about to do a show, and I had a look, and she'd come back to us. So I sent her a message, can my nephew come round? Yes, no problem at all. So I sent him round there. And he kindly went round there, got there about 11 o'clock, and about 11:30, 11:45, I rang him and I said, what do you reckon? He said, buy it. He said, it's really nice. He said, I've been underneath to have a look to see if it's rusted at all. He said, it's not new. It's quite an old one. He said, but the position of it, it's overlooking a field. So I've had another look at the pictures, and I thought, okay, well, I trust my nephew's. I wouldn't trust my sister's judgment. That's not to say that she doesn't give good judgment. We just think we're just different. Do you see what I mean? So, and I think there was something else I asked my sister, and she said yes, and I did whatever. I can't remember what it was, whether it was a caravan or something else. And then I looked and I thought, oh no, I don't think so. So I wouldn't trust my sister's judgment on something like that, but I would trust my nephew's. He thinks the same, and he'd come back to me. He said, buy it quickly. So there and then I messaged the lady. I rang her up, and I said, I'd like to buy your caravan. I said, I'll give you what you're asking. Which was £8,000, and she was over the moon. And that was it, really. A little period of time passed, a couple of weeks, and I sent the money over, and I turned up there, and I got there, and I was so pleased. It was the position. See, it's not the newness of the caravan at all. It was just the position in front of a field, an open field, and a quiet site. There's a river at the top. There's only one narrow road in and one narrow road out, and that's for miles. You know, the drawbacks of where I am is that it's a 15 to 20 minute ride to any shops in the car. It's a bit of a job cycling. I might cycle to the shops next week, actually. It's not too bad cycling to the shops. I would say half an hour to cycle to the nearest shop, possibly, but over an hour to cycle to my sister's house, which it don't sound too bad, an hour on a bike, okay? But then it's like, I say an hour, it's about an hour and 20 minutes cycle to my sister, but then it's an hour and 20 minutes back. That's a long time on a bike, and your arse starts to hurt. It starts becoming painful and you're cycling and you're cycling. Although it has to be said, that cycle is in the most beautiful country, along by the river, not very busy roads, and you go past houses and there's chickens running around and all sorts of things. Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. So there we are. That's how it worked for me. Let's have a look. Bumba. Claire, the backdrop is beautiful. I didn't notice it at first, just focused on you. Good point, Claire. Please focus on me at all times, dear. That's why I do this show. John says he wants a place that's gay-free. Yeah, me too, John. They're just a complete pain in the arse, those gays, dear. You know what I mean. Michael loves the backdrop. Thank you, Michael. It makes my hair stand out, does it? Maureen likes the backdrop. Good morning, Maureen. Texting in this morning. It makes my hair stand out. I've had a little bit of a shave last night. I did loads yesterday. Joanna, thank you. Good morning to Steve. Steve McMillan. Good morning, sir. Morning to you. Andy in the house. Good morning. It's looking very summery here. Good morning, Andy. Joanna, hello, love. Don't worry, Joanna. Don't worry, I haven't sung yet. You haven't missed anything, all right? LaBelle, good morning. Your emerald-eyed flower I'd love. Thank you, LaBelle. Do you like the sunflowers, LaBelle? Look at this, darling. I think you need a sunflower dress, a sunflower frock when you go and do your shows, my darling. All right? Clarissa has had no more fake calls and I'm still on the internet. Good girl. Clarissa had one of those fake calls. This happens a lot. You'll get someone ring up with an Indian Pakistani accent telling you that they're from BT and that your computer has been infected with viruses and all that. If you ever got a phone call like that, put the phone down. BT would never ring you. They don't know your computer's infected with viruses anyway. You know, how are they supposed to know that? They don't know. So if you ever get someone ring up and say, oh, we're ringing up about your internet connection, phone down. Do not enter into conversation with them. Or you can be really rude to them like I am. I let them talk for a few minutes and then I tell them, if it's a bloke, I tell them exactly what I want them to come round and do to me. They don't ring back after that. Disappointing, really. Never mind. All right. Let's have a look. Paul and Lou, good morning in sunny Birmingham. A very good morning to Paul and Lou. You should get something for 10,000, John. But I mean, if it's advertised for 10,000, you know, don't offer 10,000. Offer less than that, my darling. All right. Always a good idea. LaBelle loves the story of Chris Reardon's caravan. A caravan of love. There's no love going on there, I'm afraid, LaBelle. I mean, I left the door open all night. Still nothing. Nothing. Arrows pointing on the site towards my caravan that light up and flash at night. Still no one appears. Very disappointed. I get up in the morning, but I've got my plants to talk to. A bit like Prince Charles. He talks to plants, doesn't he? They're so you never row with a plant, never in 1,000 years. Good morning to Sarah Lou Lace. Good morning to you. Danny Gibbs is in the house. Good morning, Danny. And Janet is there as well. Good morning, Danny and Janet. Oh, I'm supposed to be coming out to Cleethorpes next week, aren't I? Probably Thursday. Are you around Thursday, Danny? So I might message the bloke. His name's Lee. Apparently they had that. There's a new club opening in Cleethorpes, and I'm inquiring whether they want to do a karaoke night. And I'm supposed to be going up there next week at some point. They had their opening night. I don't know if you saw any of it, Danny, but it looked like they had a really good time up there. So looking forward to that. Good. Good film for you to watch, boys and girls, on Netflix. My mate came around last night and we watched a film called Kin. K-I-N. All right? K-I-N. It's about this little boy and he finds a laser gun that's come from like another planet or the future. And these robots are there and the robots, he thinks they're all dead. And then suddenly one of them moves and he runs out of the place and then he comes back and they've all disappeared. But there's this great big laser gun thing on the floor and he picks it up and it goes making all these noises. And it's very, very good. and he meets up, he gets together with his brother, who's been in prison for some time. And his brother is a little bit naughty. He's drop dead gorgeous, the brother. I tell you, he looks about 28 in the programme, the brother. The little boy is about 9, 10, 11, something like that. And it's a really good film. Do watch it, okay? Once again, on Netflix. It's called Kin. It's a bit science fiction-y story, bank robbers type thing. Okay, so really good, that film on Netflix called Kin, K-I-N. Not seen this week's editions of Gentleman Jack, which I'm enjoying on BBC One Colour on Sunday nights and on the iPlayer. And of course, Killing Eve, which is on directly after Casualty on a Saturday night. I don't know if you're watching Casualty, but one of the storylines is Duffy, who has been in there, I think, ever since it started, to be honest, although she had a big break in the middle. She came back onto it a couple of years ago, and she's battling dementia, early set dementia. It's a really good storyline. So, again, highly recommend. That's Casualty on Saturday night. It's on BBC One Colour. Okay? Mike says, you have a very nice lifestyle, very envious. I'm thinking of getting a holiday caravan for when I retire in 3 years' time. Yeah, highly recommended. Talk to other people on the site, though. As I say, I wouldn't go on a Haven holiday site or one of the big operators, Park Dean, as well. Just as another thing, there are, on Facebook, there is a static caravan group, which I'll post if you want. I'll copy that and post it. Hang on. So you can have a look around on that and perhaps join on there. Static caravan chat, I think that's the one. Yeah, hang on a minute. I'll post that. What? Oh, John, you'll have to look on Facebook if you want this. Okay, let's just post that there. Because I can't... Oh, I'll Twitter it. My Twitter is Chris Reardon UK if you ever want to join us on Twitter. Okay, twitter.com/Chris Reardon UK. I'll tweet this caravan group for you. You can join that and have a look around. Don't ever buy one as an investment. Okay? If you think you're going to buy it for yourself and then rent it out a little bit to make a little bit of money, you probably won't. You'll make a very, very little bit of money. And the hassle, I don't quite get the whole buy a caravan and then rent it out to other people thing. You know, you might as well just rent one yourself then, mightn't you? Why would you buy a caravan, fill it with all your stuff, and then rent it out to people you don't even know? Oh, I don't do it for me. Some people do it, and they come a cropper. If you was to do it on a Haven holiday, say you bought one on Haven and you rented it out for a period of time, perhaps to help with paying the ground rent. Well, the ground rent at Haven Holidays is like £3,500 plus. It's a lot there. I pay £1,400 a year, so it's dear. But you won't make any money. Haven and Parksea, they take an enormous chunk of your rent. I think it's like 60%. You know, for that I think they do clean it out when you get changeovers. But what's the point? You know, what's the point of that? You know, I would buy a cheaper caravan and not rent it out to anyone. Don't see the point of that. LaBelle doesn't wear sunflowers. I'm a rose print girl. I've got a nice rose shirt, actually. I've got a lovely rose shirt. I'm not sure it's going to fit around my fat waist at the moment, though. I'll see if I can find that for you, LaBelle, and wear that one day, okay? Adrian says Gentleman Jack was very good last night. It is. It's an excellent series, that Gentleman Jack. I hopefully will watch it at some point today or maybe during the week or something like that. Hello to Tina Fink. She's in New York as well. Good morning, Tina. There's two of you in New York today. LaBelle's in New York and Tina as well. Good morning, lovely Tina Fink. All right. Adam loves the new backdrop. I'm glad you do, Adam. It's nice, isn't it? It is nice. You do rent it to make money, yes, LaBelle, but you don't make much. You make very little amount. It's not worth the hassle. It really is not. JP says that as well. You don't want to rent it out, JP. Honestly, you don't. Anyway, so that was the Netflix film yesterday. What else I did yesterday? I just did cleaning yesterday. I hoovered the entire house, top to bottom. I did the bathroom. Last night I did the kitchen floor, which is, I'll be honest with you, that's something that doesn't get done very often. Mopping the kitchen floor. So when it does, you have to do it 2 or 3 times. Do you see what I mean? Because the water is just filthy. You come into my house, into the kitchen. It's like a slate floor, okay? And then out the other door into the garden. So that's what takes all the dirt, if there's any dirt, to come off you. And I just don't do it enough. Anyway, I did it last night, and it's nice, isn't it? Don't you like it when you've just cleaned something? It's all nice and clean and sparkly. Very, very nice as well. So I did that. What else have I got here? I think that's all I did yesterday. I went nighttime swimming, and as I say, Ronnie came over afterwards. And we watched that film, Kin. On the BBC Breakfast News this morning, I noticed they're doing the politics. They had Jeremy Hunt. Now, we've got two people vying to be the next Prime Minister, and the Conservative Party are going to vote on who they think it should be. So at the moment, the two of them are battling it out. And Jeremy Hunt was on there this morning. I've got to be honest, I've not really watched this very closely at all, this whole politics. With all this blooming Brexit debacle going on, I've kind of lost interest a little bit in politics and that, and I certainly don't do it on this show. The people just rowing and screaming at each other because they don't see someone else's point of view, and I think you should always open your eyes to someone else's point of view, whether it be politics or religion or whatever it is. You know, I like to try and see. I like to think I'm a fairly balanced person. And Jeremy Hunt was on there this morning, and I was listening to him, and you know the business with the whole Boris thing going on, and he had a row with his wife. How that affects him as a politician, I do not know. I mean, who doesn't have a row with their other halves? And the media have gone on and on about it, almost to the point of, oh, here we go again, and switching over. I just don't see what to do with it. It's like Jeremy Corbyn. Didn't he have some How's Your Father with Diane Abbott? I think he did, didn't he? Got together with Diane Abbott. Whether he went out with her or just a one-night job or something like that, I don't know. But, you know, okay, it's funny. I think it's quite funny. But it doesn't really affect on him being like the leader of the Labour Party, does it? You know, what has a personal life got to do with it? As long as they do the damn job properly. That's what I think about that. But I was watching this Jeremy Hunt this morning, and I've been watching Boris on the news as well. Everyone's saying Boris will win. I wouldn't put money on it. I don't think I'm going to put money on that. No, not that I do bet, to be honest. I rarely do any bet. I wouldn't put money on Boris Johnson. I think we're going to be surprised. And I do believe it's never been the case. Boris is, of course, the favourite to win. I do believe it's the case that the favourite has never won. So it will be very interesting. When is the vote? Anyone know when this vote is? It's not for us to vote. It's for the party themselves, isn't it? But, you know, I wouldn't write it off. I wouldn't write off Jeremy Hunt at all. No, very, very interesting. He does look more of... He does look a bit more like a Prime Minister than old Boris, doesn't he, Jeremy Hunt? He does. So it'd be interesting to see what goes on there, on the old thing there. Right. Good morning to Ray Reynolds. Morning, Ray. Joining you late after power washing the patio and path. Oh my God! What time in the morning were you doing that, Ray? Good God, dear! You wake up all the blooming neighbours. It's outrageous. Were you out there? I bet you're out there at 6 o'clock this morning with one of those power washers. Aren't they noisy things? They are. All I've got is hose. That's all I've got. Mind you, we got I haven't really got a patio or anything like that to wash, and it doesn't matter anyway. Does that matter? You were just bored, weren't you? You don't need to wash a patio, dear. You're just bored. There was a bloke, he's no longer with us. He died a couple of years ago, one of my neighbours. And he's got like not so much of a patio, but where he comes into his house, there's all paving stones. He would paint them, dear. Paint them. He'd paint the paving stones every year. What's all that about? I don't know. Clarissa done her housework yesterday, went out with Paul for about half an hour, got home, and Ice had managed to grab the rubbish bag and spread it all over the front room. Oh, dear. What our pets do, eh? Morning to Peter Lake. Good morning. A beautiful morning in Woodall Spa. The sun is shining. Did you have a nice weekend? Yes, thank you. It was lovely. Thank you, Peter. I've had a nice weekend. I got a lot done this weekend. I got a lot done. Adrian, don't be horrible about poor old Jeremy and Diane. I'm sure they're nice people under all of it, dear. Paul and Lou, the neighbours recorded Boris's row too. That's a bit weird. Hope my neighbours aren't recording us. Well, I hope they are. What a weird neighbour. A busybody. We hate busybody. Mind your own bloody business. People having rows. Let's have a look. Adrian, what's that? Poking about 4 weeks, 5 weeks' time. Aren't you voting for it? Poking? Poking what? No, don't know what you mean. Danny Gibbs is around Thursday. Okay, well, we'll see about that, Danny. And good morning to Dr. SOS Gregorian joining us there as well. Good morning, Mr. Gregorian. Also on the news this morning, I saw that there's this brother and sister who have been... You must know this, LaBelle and... LaBelle and... just a minute, I forgot your name now. What is it? Scrolling is no, not Sarah. Who else is in? Tina, thank you. Sarah and Tina. You may know this story already, but there's 2 people have done now a tight walk rope over 25 stories up in New York somewhere, and they showed pictures of them, and they cross over. One starts at each end, okay, and then they walk with those great big long things that they hold. Okay, and then they meet in the middle. One of them drops down and literally sits on the tight wire, while the other one steps over her and carries on. And she gets back. I think it was the girl anyway. She got back up and walked over to the end. 25 stories up on a tightrope. Why would you do that? On closer inspection, they did both have safety harnesses on, but even so, you wouldn't catch me doing anything like that. Walking across the tightrope would probably snap, to be honest, if I did it. Why would anyone want to do that? It's like these people that go potholing. Oh, that's the other bit of news this morning. I see that, you remember the little Thai boys? The little boys in Thailand who got caught in that cave last year. That's a year ago now. Can you believe that? A whole year ago. And they've been out doing some sort of marathon, running on some sort of marathon, raising money for a charity of some sort. But they were very lucky, weren't they? They climb in that little cove. I mean, potholing. Why would anyone want to go potholing? Because that water, once it starts coming in, it fills up very quickly. People, how awful. Crawling under tiny little holes where you probably wouldn't fit in. I'd start going in the hole and my arse would stop me going in any further because it's too wide. Is yours the same? Come on, be honest, boys and girls. If you went potholing, would your arse go through the hole as well or not? No, thank you. No, thank you. It wouldn't happen to me. I wouldn't do that. So that was good to see that this morning. Voting. You're saying voting. Well, you put poking. You must check. You may be a dyslexic person, but you please check your writing before you hit that send button, because I get very confused. Very, very good. I'm a confused type person, as you know, Adrian. I'm not even sure if I like myself or not this morning. Don't like myself. There we are. I still got to wrap Dylan's birthday present. Going to be fun with the dog and cat, Clarissa. Oh, dear. Well, they like to play, didn't they, pets? They do like to play with you. Michael Lawrence thinks the papers of the woman is how the police were called to Boris's house. Oh, someone rung up, didn't they? That's why. Ow, they're having a row next door. Oh, mind your own bloody business. Go down, go and watch your television. Mind your own business. Ray Reynolds, the day of the Triffids. The sunflower is about to strangle you round the neck. It might well do, Ray. A lot of people would like to see that, I think, to be honest, Ray. I think that is the case. I'd like to see that. Right, some news stories for you then, boys and girls. I've got quite a lot here, actually, today. You may have seen the story of this bloke who's just had a massive fine. Okay, he's a cyclist. And the story in the Metro this morning says a cycling facing bankruptcy after being ordered to pay a woman who stepped in front of him while using her phone has thanked the public who donated more than £45,000 to help him. And so they should. Now, the fundraising drive has raised more than double its initial target of £21,300 to meet the estimated legal costs of this bloke, Robert Hazeldine. He's also facing a £100,000 court bill and said he would be forever thankful to the more than 3,000 people who donated to the GoFundMe appeal. Now, the story is, if you don't know this story, this bloke was cycling. Okay, he was cycling along, and this woman stepped out in the road with her face glued to the mobile phone. And we've all seen these people do this. We've all seen it. And they stroll across the road as slowly as they can, headphones on, eyes to the phone. I mean, why more people like this are not killed with car crashes and things like that, I just do not know. Anyway, it went to the court and the judge found against the cyclist. And so he's got this massive fine. The story says, he sounded a bike horn and swerved to try and avoid the woman, but both were knocked out in a collision, which the judge found they were equally to blame for. But then the judge said that the bloke was liable to pay her compensation because cyclists must be prepared at all times for people to behave in unexpected ways. You see, so he's already said that it's like half of one, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, equally to blame, and yet he's put all the money side of things onto the cyclist. And I think that's wrong. I don't think either side really are. I think both sides are equally to blame for this. She should have paid more attention to the road. And I don't know, perhaps he should have been paying more attention to the pedestrians. It has to be said that cyclists, and I'm one myself, but I'm not like this, can be very, very aggressive. And I've seen this. I've seen this on roads. They are awful. Not all of them. There's a lot of them. It's usually the lycra-clad ones that are the worst ones, and they think they own the bloody road. Well, you don't. However, in this case, it looks like it was 6 of one, half dozen of the other. And I think that was wrong to give him that massive fine like that. It's just as much her fault for not paying attention and keeping her eyes on the blooming mobile phone. I mean, God help us that you should miss a Facebook message or something like that. I certainly don't walk around with my eyes in the phone all the time. I'm not on Facebook much anymore at all. I think I told you a couple of weeks ago I decided not to go on it. I don't really use the messenger thing or anything like that. I don't like get into communication like a messenger thing. So usually once I finish the show, that's it. I'm off it and then back on the next morning. You see, I don't really use it for that. I'd rather someone ring me up. That's how it is. Good morning to Martin Edwards. Morning, Martin. A little bit late this morning, thank you. Clarissa, if someone walks towards me with a nose to phone, I stand still and make a move. Oh, you can walk into them quite easily, Clarissa, as you well know. You just stand there and they still continue to walk into you. Thickos, that's what they are. Michael said the woman should have been fined. I don't think either should have been fined. If they were fined, they would have been fined the same amount. If I'd have been judge, I would have found them both the same amount. So in that case, it cancels each other out. They both were as guilty as each other about that one. I'll tell you that now. More good news to Michael Pullman, just joining us this morning. So that's that story there. Electric. Who wants an electric car? I think we all want electric cars, and we often talk about the subjects of electric cars. I've wanted one for 10 years. Not really possible for me yet. I couldn't charge it at home, and I certainly couldn't charge it at the caravan because you don't have much electricity coming into a caravan. Some people have got one, but it costs you more to have one. In the Daily Mail this morning, drivers face a £116 annual premium to go green. Electric cars are 14% more expensive to insure than similar petrol and diesel models. Now, you would think an electric car would be cheaper to make, wouldn't you? When you think of a petrol or diesel engine, there's all those pipes and bits and pieces and moving parts. Whereas an electric car, it's only got 4 motors on it, hasn't it? I think it's 1 on each wheel. Electric cars may be cheaper to charge, it says in the Daily Mail this morning, than petrol or diesel one is to fill up with fuel, but zero-emission models may not be as cost-effective as you think. a comparison of average electric car insurance premiums and those for an equivalent model with a traditional internal combustion engine shows the greener choice costs 14% or about £116 a year more for the insurance. According to Vantage Leasing, the 2 million motorists expected to own electric cars, which tend to be more expensive to purchase, as we well know. Especially, I think the government have now removed the £5,000 money off voucher type thing. So if you was to buy a Nissan Leaf for, I don't know, 25,000, you apply to the government and they give you £5,000 on that. Or they did. I think that's gone now. It tends to be more expensive to purchase than traditional vehicles. By 2025, we'll be forking out a collective extra £231 million on insurance if you've got an electric car, with many predicting that the electric market will boom in the coming years, courtesy of the crackdown on diesel cars and ban on sale of combustion engine vehicles in Britain by 2040. Drivers could find the cost of making the switch pricier than they originally thought. So even... You know, you want to do the right thing a lot of the time, but it ends up costing you a fortune often. As you know, I've got solar panels on there. I've got two types of solar panels on the roof. One which creates electricity and one which used to make hot water. Now, I say used to make hot water, okay? That has now broken down completely. I had it fixed last year at a cost of £500. Basically, if I'll explain it to you, I've got a tank, okay? The tank in it has got two coils. One's connected to the boiler and one's connected to the solar panel on the top. A little electric motor, which is also at the top there, pulls the water through when the sun's out, puts it through the solar panel like that. It heats up, goes back into the tank. Okay? That's how it works. Except... it's become blocked somewhere. And it got blocked last year. I had two blokes come out. They fixed it. Worked perfectly all right for the rest of the year. This year came. No hot water again. So it's blocked again. And I was going to get them out again. I thought I'll get it fixed once more. But then I came back from the caravan one day. After a week. And I noticed the expansion tank, you know, was just... the overflow pipe was dripping at the front. And I thought, oh, don't say it's gone wrong somewhere else. Anyway, so in the morning I got up and I heard the pump start going. Zzz, and I went out the back and the water was pouring out the solar panel. So it's obviously got blocked there as well somewhere. And I've spent £500 already. Now, all this does is heat hot water. How much do you spend, I wonder, heating hot water in a year? My guess is 30 quid, 30 or 40 quid. So you see, it's just not worth spending the money having it fixed again. So I went up there myself and I disconnected the pump and I turned the water off that feeds the expansion tank. So in effect, I've turned it off and I rung up the company and I said, look, I've done this. Have I now in effect turned it off? And they said, yes. He said, will you be taking it down? I said, not really. He said, well, it will get very hot up there, but that's it. You've now turned it off. So there we are. End of. You try and do the right thing. And it doesn't always pay, does it really? Paul and Lou are packing for Glastonbury. Well, good luck to you not going there, are you? Muddy fields, smelly toilets and load of drunks. Oh, no, not my cup of tea at all. Clarissa, she goes on those outdoor music events, don't you, love? She loves it. And the toilet's very nice where she was going. She's got posh toilets, love. With toilet paper. Can you believe that? My advice to you, never ever go into a public toilet without taking your own toilet paper. That's my advice to you this morning, boys and girls, okay? Adrian, always help from the people on the phones, walking in the high street, knocking to man, sometimes the bounds of me carcasses to slap the hatton. I'm sorry, mate, I can't read this. Also, recitalists. I'll read exactly what it says here. Already help from the people on the phone, walking in the high street, the knocking to man, sometimes the bounds of me, carcasses to slap the hatton. Also, recitalists have 8 and drive only footpath speed. They go is it your spell checker that's not working or something like that? I don't know what it is. I can't. I'm not making sense out of that, mate. I'm sorry, Adrian. Good look at Glasgow, says Clarissa. She's booked tickets for Download 2020, which is another outdoor event, isn't it? Paul and Lou have been 10 times to Glastonbury. Oh, no. No, well, rather you than me. The toilets are pretty awful, but we go cycling there. We get a posh field. Oh, that's outrageous. Adrian says, I think it's the sound from the TV when you're on. It's conflicting with my voice dictator. How dare you watch another programme while I'm doing this? Choose one or the other, please. See, it's your fault. All right. We got a load of rain possibly coming today. Really, it's in the sun this morning. It says forecasters have issued a danger to life. Danger. Warning. Danger. Warning. Warning. Danger. As a 60-hour nationwide thunderstorm threatens to devastate towns with torrential rain and flash floods. A yellow Met-Ephesus warning has been issued for intense downpours all day today after a week of glorious 25 degrees heat. Where's it been 25 degrees? Yeah, I mean, it was all right yesterday. It was nice. It weren't 25 degrees. God's sake, man. And there's a picture of it there, and it's quite a large picture stretching all the way from, and it's on the east side. So from, what's that at the top there? Is that Inverness? Top right, is that Inverness? Inverness there, it goes right the way down, stretches out to Glasgow, over to Newcastle on Tyne, right through Manchester, Birmingham, London, all where my caravan is. Oh, dear me. It says the Met Office forecaster, Simon Partridge. Simon, why is that name funny? Simon Partridge. Why is that funny? Simon Partridge told The Sun Online that the stormy weather could last up to a week. He said it's set up for an unsettled spell this week where we could see more of those storms as the week goes on. The rain won't be bringing cold with it as temperatures are set to soar into the 20s. Also the 30s. I think someone said it's going to be 30 degrees on Thursday. But yes, so possibly more rain on the way for probably areas that don't really need the rain as well. You know how it is sometimes, don't you? Never mind. Clarissa says, I hope the weather is better for you guys at Glastonbury than what it was for me. I hope so as well. I hope so as well. All right, let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls. Happy birthday on this Monday, the 24th of June, 2019, to Mr. Aaron Johns. Aaron Johns, he does two jobs. He's a very, very good drag queen. He's absolutely drop dead gorgeous. I've got to tell you that. In and out of his dresses and things. So he does drag queen. He's also a BA cabin flight attendant, a job that he's just started recently. And there's some really good pictures of him, actually, in uniform, which I've seen, standing next to the British Airways towel fin. Fantastic pictures. Happy birthday to you, Aaron. 33 years old today. Happy birthday this morning to Joseph McDonald. Good morning, Joe. Haven't seen you for a while. He's 53 today. Good morning, Joseph. He used to come along to a place I DJ'd at 25 years ago, the Penny Farthing in Hammersmith. We had some fun there. Good morning to Elliott James Begley, 25 years old today. Are you the youngest one today? Oh, no, it's someone younger than you. Thomas Fernandez today is 24 years old. Good morning, Thomas. Clive Fuller, jumping up again, is 55 years old. Happy birthday, Clive. Paul Fitzgerald, it's his birthday today. And also James Palmer's birthday on this Monday, the 24th of June, 2019. Shut up, Joanna, and listen to the singing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. She loves it. She loves it. Good morning to David Mallam, joining us right at the end of the show today. Okay, that's it for the show today. Thank you very much for joining us. I don't think I'm going to be with you tomorrow morning because I've got the new refurbished computer to set up. Might be with you tomorrow night. So have your little notifications thing set on and we'll see where we get with that one. I've got lots to do tomorrow. Plant pots. I've got to put a new switch in, set up the new computer. So much to do tomorrow. So certainly not in the morning because I'll be setting up the new computer. Might run a test at some point in the morning to see that everything's working, and possibly tomorrow night. If not, Wednesday. Okay, now tonight, boys, you have a lovely time at Glastonbury. Lots of pictures. Tonight I'll be hosting karaoke. That'll be at Central Station Bar in Wharfdale Road. King's Cross starts at 7:30 and goes right the way through until 11 o'clock. We do like to have a laugh there. Okay? Don't think it's a serious night, because it's not. We like to send everything up, including me. So that's tonight. Karaoke at Central Station Bar in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross, 7:30 till 11 o'clock. Have a nice day, and I'll see you again very soon. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye now.